All right, here we are in video number 3 of Get Off the Golf Fitness Roller Coaster, where we're going to break down a complete formula for you to use to get in better shape and play better golf. And I want to thank all of you for all the comments that you've left on the last several videos, the daily motion routine, and all the crucial pieces to include in your resistance program. If you haven't watched the first 2 videos, by all means, go back and watch those. We're really excited with how well this whole series has been received, and we can tell that our community is very excited by all the feedback that we've gotten. So the problem is that most golfers just don't have a plan. Golfers like you, they get motivated, they try to get in better shape, they try to play better golf, but don't necessarily have a plan that they can follow, and therefore you don't get the results that you want. And it can be super frustrating, but I want to tell you that you're not alone in this whole journey. It's happened to all of us, it's happened to me, and it can be very confusing, and it can be very easy to get frustrated, to procrastinate, or worse, just not even start a program at all. So we want to get you out of this trap of, fad diets and going and buying some high-intensity workout program online, or just giving up and settling for the fact that you're going to be a mediocre golfer and you're never going to hit those goals that you once set a long time ago. So the good news here is that the problem's not you. The problem's not that you didn't have the motivation or the time. In fact, you should be proud of yourself for the fact that you made a decision to make some changes. The problem here lies with the fact that without the right guidance, it's very hard to get to the point that you want to get to. And we found that when our clients, our listeners, and people in the 18 Strong community have started to get the results that they want, is when they finally found a plan that works with their lives and that they were able to stick to. I've had a bunch of people from the show write in and ask me, or I've even been on golf trips with friends where people have asked, where do I start with this whole fitness thing? How do I make my golf game better by getting in better shape? And a lot of people, they end up having these back pains or these nagging injuries, and they say, what do I need to do to get rid of that and eventually end up hitting the ball further off the tee? Well, I'm going to show you exactly the pieces to this formula in what we're calling the Golf Body Blueprint. And I'm going to give you 5 things that you need to keep or you need to put in your routine on a weekly basis to make sure that you're, first of all, doing what you want to do, but getting your body to react the way that you want it to react. And then after that, I'm going to give you that super secret weapon that we talked about to gain more speed in your golf swing. All right, so let's run through these 5 things pretty quickly here. The first one in the blueprint is movement. You simply have to move better and you have to move more often. So we touched in our first video on the daily motion routine, and hopefully you've already implemented that and you're starting to see some results. This is where it all happens, consistent movement over time. But you also need to include some specific mobility exercises where you're doing some stretches or maybe doing some foam rolling or other soft tissue work that's going to help get your body moving in different ways. And those are maybe some of the extra pieces that we talked about in video number 2. But in this category, I'm also going to include your posture and just the form in your exercises. These are 2 things that are often overlooked and kind of neglected. So you want to make sure that your postures on a daily basis are very good, and every time you're in the gym doing an exercise, your form is perfect. That's going to translate over into everyday life as well as into your golf swing. Okay, the second piece in the blueprint is the resistance program, and you have to have a plan to push yourself a little bit harder. In video number 2, we talked about all the crucial components that you need to keep or you need to put in your exercise program. And again, those are the 6 big things: push, pull, squat, hinge, rotate, and then those extra pieces, which are kind of like the area where you can focus on more isolated movements and maybe fixing some different issues. That could even be some of your mobility work. But if you stick with those 5 things, the big movement patterns, along with the extras, that's going to be plenty for what you need to do on a weekly basis. And I would say that for 90% of people, it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. So do 3 workouts with those components, and you're going to be set in your resistance training program. Okay, the third component here is that we simply need to eat better. We need to pay more attention to our nutrition 80 to 90% of the time. We often have good days, we have bad days, and we kind of fall off the wagon when we don't start eating well. But we really need to look more towards our nutrition as far as what results we're going to get. I think too many times we look at what we're doing in the gym and what exercise we're doing in order to get the results that we want for our endurance and how we're feeling on the golf course, when really a great nutrition program is going to do a world of difference, more so than just the exercise program. We have to fuel our bodies to be able to do what we want them to do. So I'm going to give you 5 basics here for you to start to follow and really pay attention to. And if you stick to these, you're going to be much more on the right track as far as your nutrition is concerned. The first one is we need more protein. Most people don't get enough protein. And so every time you eat a big meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, I want you to make sure that you include a good portion of protein. And over the course of a day, I want you to eat about half of your body weight in grams of protein. So if you're a 200-pound male, that means I want you eating roughly 100 grams of protein. The second one is that we just need more vegetables. And I can't tell you how many times I've had grown-ups come in and tell me that they don't eat vegetables because they don't like them. And my standard response is, I don't care, you have to eat them. And I want you to eat them, again, every single meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And yes, I said breakfast. I know most people think that's crazy, but you have to fuel yourself properly over the entire span of the day. So I want about half of your plate to be filled with green and leafy vegetables or colorful vegetables. The third piece here is I want you to back off of the carbs. And not to say that all carbs are bad, but the dry, starchy carbs like bread and crackers and bagels and cereal, those kinds of things, are all robbing you of the nutrition that you need. And they're just creating kind of this roller coaster of highs and lows of sugar and energy in your system. And by backing off on those, that's the fastest way I've seen people lose weight, cut fat, and actually have more energy and endurance when they're on the course. And then the fourth one is you've got to focus on your hydration. Hydration is so key, and I'm not just talking about when you're golfing, because we usually are pretty good about maybe getting some water on the course, but the time leading up to your golf round, the time after your golf round, I want you drinking a lot more water. So again, think of half of your body weight in ounces of water on a daily basis. If you know you're going to be playing golf and it's going to be hot out or you're going to be working out, I want you to then add some more water to that and even throw in maybe some high quality electrolytes or maybe even some amino acids. I want you to stay away from some of those neon colored sports drinks that we see on TV because they don't quite deliver what they promise. But I want you to make sure that you're fueling and getting ready for your hydration needs on the course and in the gym. And then lastly is you have to prepare yourself. You have to be better prepared for the food and the hydration component. So this could be looking at your meals at the beginning of the week and knowing what you're going to eat throughout the week, as well as preparing what you're going to eat on the course, and what you're going to drink beforehand, during your round, and afterwards. The preparation is where I find most people falling off the wagon. Just like your fitness program, you need a plan and you need to prepare. Number 4 on the Golf Body Blueprint is dialing up the intensity. And usually this is going to be in the form of some sort of sprint. And so a sprint is basically a short duration of maximal effort or close to maximal effort. It doesn't necessarily mean running a sprint, while that can be a sprint. It's basically just doing an exercise where you're putting in full intensity for a short amount of time. And so that can be, like I said, running, that can be jumping rope, rowing, that can be biking. There's all different ways that you can implement this, but I want these short bursts of maximal intensity. That intensity doesn't mean exercising at a super fast pace throughout the whole workout. It means using smart bursts of sprints sometime during your week in order to be more efficient, to burn more fat, and to get your cardiovascular system up and running. So it's going to kind of speed up your metabolism. And I like the sprints because, first of all, they're just not as boring as doing old-fashioned, low, slow cardio. So what this pretty much looks like is you're going to do some sort of exercise at 80 to 100% maximal effort, and I want it to be somewhere between 10 to 60 seconds. Don't go over the 60-second mark. But you're going to do your work, and then you're going to rest for 2 to 4 times that. So let's say you exercise super hard for 10 seconds. It means I want you to rest for 20 seconds to 40 seconds. And it's very important that you structure this either at the end of your workout, your strength training program, or on a separate day. And the reason for that is you don't want to gas yourself out before you start to do your strength training exercises. You want to save your energy for those powerful moves, and then you want to do these intense short bursts at the end to work on your endurance factor. So you don't want to rob yourself of your energy before going into your strength training exercises. But including these in your exercise is definitely going to improve your endurance. And number 5 on the blueprint, the last one here, is that if you want to swing fast, you have to train fast. Look, we all want to hit the ball further. That's a given fact. And there's only 2 ways to hit a ball further. It's either hit it better on the face of the club, which I know you're already working on, or it's swing faster. And so in order to do that, we have to get your body moving faster. The problem with most golfers' routines is that they tend to work on the flexibility piece. They tend to work on the strength piece. But I find that a lot of them miss out on the fact that you have to teach your body to move a little bit faster. And so some great ways that you can do that and add into your workout program is doing things like Olympic lifts, or throwing medicine balls, or doing some sort of plyometric exercises. And so by doing these, you're teaching your body, you're teaching your brain that you can move faster, which is all going to relate to how you swing a golf club. The one key I want to point out here is that unlike the sprint training exercise, you want to do this stuff towards the beginning of your workout, because these are going to be very quick motions where you're moving fast and then you're resting. So you want to be as powerful and as fast as possible. If you're tired, you can't get any faster. So you want to either put these towards the beginning of your workout, or maybe even do this type of work on a separate day. The problem with some of these fast exercises is that they're not always super easy to do. You know, the Olympic lifts can be very difficult to learn, and many people don't feel comfortable doing them. The medicine balls can be tough to have access first just to a medicine ball or a place where you can throw them. And then some people just don't feel comfortable doing some of these exercises, and I totally get it. And it can be hard to fit those into your daily program and the limited space that you might have. So this is where that secret weapon comes in that I mentioned before. The one thing that we've implemented into our clients' training programs that have made the biggest difference in their club head speed is a process called Overspeed Training. And Overspeed Training is a very simple process where you use slightly different weighted clubs and you swing them in a different manner, left-handed and right-handed, and it ends up helping you speed up not just your swing, but your body, which is actually the key. So you take a slightly heavier club, a regular weighted club, and a slightly lighter club, and by doing these different protocols, it basically teaches your brain and your body that it can move faster. It's almost like taking the governor off of a golf cart and letting it just kind of go as fast as possible. So this is the same process that we used with some of our clients, like a guy named Paul, who is 72 years old, and in less than a month went from swinging a club in the mid-80s to the upper 90-mile-an-hour range just by using this process along with his strength training program. Or Mitch, who we talked about earlier, who is now close to a scratch golfer, went from hitting a ball 240 yards to now 290 yards plus by implementing this and all the other principles of the Golf Body Blueprint. So I have to say that Overspeed Training has definitely become a game changer for all of our golfers. All right, so just to recap the entire blueprint, I want to go through those 5 things one more time. You have to move better and you have to move more often. That's the first piece. The second one is just to have a plan for your resistance program and to be able to push yourself towards reaching those goals. Number 3 is you have to simply start to eat better and pay more attention to your nutrition and how you're fueling your body. Number 4 is the fact that you have to dial up the intensity in order to work the cardiovascular system, get more endurance, and just be ready to play those full 18 holes. And then the 5th one is, in order to swing fast, you have to train fast. And that's where the Overspeed comes into play, where you're just going to improve and teach your body to move much faster so you can swing faster. So again, you're probably asking yourself, why are you guys giving us all of this information? Don't most fitness professionals want to kind of keep their secrets close to the chest and save it just for their clients? Well, obviously, that's not our mission here at 18 Strong. We're tired of seeing golfers like you get frustrated and get ripped off, and that's why 18 Strong exists, to provide you with this kind of information. Look, golf is frustrating enough as it is, and we don't need to make things any more complicated. And the simplest way to get off of that golf fitness roller coaster is to follow the blueprint, the golf body blueprint that we laid out for you here in this video. All right, that's video number 3 in Get Off the Golf Fitness Roller Coaster. In the final video, I'm going to show you how we can hold your hand through the entire process and help you reach your goals. Look, it's one thing to watch all these videos and jot down notes and understand all the advice that we're giving you, but it's another thing to actually take action and implement it on a weekly and daily basis. So in tomorrow's video, I'm going to show you how we can jumpstart your process and get you closer to those goals with something that we've created that we're very excited about. It's going to help you get better results, and it's going to help you finally play better golf. So for now, I just want you to leave a comment below on how you're going to implement the information you've already got into your routine.